In this video, we'll discuss how you can use Action JavaScript's file download action to download a file that was previously uploaded to Amazon S3 storage. So you can see that we have a UX component here, and I've got a download button over here, and then this download button is using the file download action to download a file. So if we go look and see how this button is configured, we can see that the type of download has been set here to Amazon S3 storage. And it's important to note that there are two modes that are possible when you download from S3 storage. The first mode is called indirect, and in that mode the file is retrieved from Amazon to the alpha server, and then it is sent from the alpha server to the client, just like any other file would be sent. So if you use the indirect mode, the behavior is very similar to any of these other options, which means that on the client side, after the file has been received, the user will be prompted to save the file. The second mode is called the direct mode, and this is by far the most efficient mode. In this mode, the file is downloaded from Amazon direct to the client, but a very lightweight callback is first made to the alpha server to sign the URL using the Amazon S3 credentials. So a callback is made to the alpha server signs the URL with your Amazon credentials, and then sends the signed URL back to the client, which then in turn downloads the file from Amazon. But when you use this direct mode, even though it's more efficient, there are additional configuration options which we'll discuss in a moment. So you can see that we've specified here that we'd like to specify our Amazon credentials now. The other method is to not bother specifying the credentials, because the file that you want to download is specified using this JSON format, which contains the connection string from which Alpha will be able to derive the credentials. And then you can see here we've specified our connection string. Then we've specified that we'd like to specify the name of the file to download by pointing to a field name. We could also type in an explicit value or use JavaScript to specify the name of the object, but we're going to say field name, and we're going to point to this control on the UX component called file character. And let's start off with the indirect mode over here. So let's go now and then save this and then switch over to live preview, and you can see that our first object is specified using this JSON syntax. So when I go ahead here and say download, you'll see that the file is downloaded to the client. Then let's go to the next record, and this one is specified using a URL. So the object name is the URL of the object in S3, but again you can see that we're going to download the file. So what happened here was the file was retrieved from Amazon to the alpha server, and then the alpha server sent the file over to the client. So now let's go take a look at the direct method, which as mentioned previously is much more efficient. But when you choose the direct method, you'll notice that you have to specify two additional properties, which is the ID where of some element on the page where images will be displayed, and the ID of some element where PDFs should be displayed. Now the reason that you need to specify these two additional images is fairly subtle. So let's pause now and then pick this up in the next video. So we're continuing now with our discussion of the file download action, where you're downloading files that have been previously uploaded to Amazon S3 storage, and we're discussing the direct method. So the reason that we need to specify these two additional properties is that the way in which the direct download is done is that a URL for the object in Amazon S3 is obtained. That URL is signed so that the object can be retrieved from Amazon S3, even if it was uploaded with protected read properties turned on. And then when it's downloaded, there's a hidden iframe on the page, and the source property of the hidden iframe is set to the URL of the object on Amazon. And when you set the source property of an iframe to a URL, if the browser doesn't have a built-in handler for that particular file type, then the browser will prompt the user to save the file. But if the browser does have a built-in handler for that particular object type, as it would in the case of a PDF object or an image object, then setting the source property of a hidden iframe would just cause the hidden iframe to display the object, but you wouldn't see it because it's a hidden iframe. So we need to specifically specify the ID of an image element that is not hidden, and a PDF that and an iframe that is also not hidden. So you can see here on our page we actually have an image object here called image1, and we actually set its style to display none, so we don't see it initially. And then we have an iframe here as well, which we've also just set to display none temporarily, and we've set its height and width to 6 inches, and we've set its initial URL to be about blank. So now let's go ahead now and run this. So when we click the download button, we can see now that the image is the URL is this is turned into a URL. The URL is then signed by Alpha, and then Alpha sends the signed URL back to the client, and then the client downloads the file direct from Amazon. So if this had been a very large file, the load on the Alpha server would have been minimal. So now let's go to the next record, and you can see here the name of the object is the URL, but again if we go ahead now and download it, you can see there's the image over there. So now let's test out what happens with a PDF. So let's first now go and upload a PDF file. So we'll go here and say upload to server, and I'll go here and say star.pdf, and let's go there and choose, say, best practices mobile, and then go ahead and submit. So now you can see that we've got a PDF now, and if I go now and say download, you can see that what happens is the URL is shown and the PDF is now displayed directly from Amazon S3. So the only load on the Alpha server was signing this URL. So there's the URL over there. Alpha signed the URL using your Amazon credentials, and then basically set the source property of this iframe so that the PDF was visible. Now if the user actually wanted to physically save the file, the PDF handler that is built into the browser typically will have a save button where I can actually go ahead now and save the file. So what we've shown in this video is that downloading files from S3 is very easy. The built-in file download action in Action JavaScript does all the work for you, and that there are two different modes for downloading: an indirect mode and then the much more efficient direct mode, which places very little load on the Alpha server. So thanks very much for watching.